Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Recently went to Bali, so just wanted to do some do's and don'ts basically for people who haven't been there before, and then what we experienced. I remember, because this is our second time going, some of the stuff on this list is not what I would have thought. So it just sort of refreshes your memory bank for when you do go over for that second time, or when there's a big gap between visits. So so for the do's, number one, try and use the Bluebird taxis as much as you can. We found that was the cheapest car transport. We stayed in Legian, and it was the easiest way to get around, especially because we went to the zoo and did some. So we're on the west coast, going to the east coast. And obviously we just had a little boy not too long ago, so having a pram and that sort of thing to get around with was sort of the only way we could really travel. And the first time we went, we did a lot of scooters, and that was 7 years ago. So number two, we found when you go eating out, the prices do vary from place to place, and I know you get that in Australia too, but some places seem really, really cheap for drinks and all the food. But just have a look right down the bottom of the menu and see if they've actually included their service charges and their taxes on the bottom. We found it was about 16 to 17% added on onto the cheaper places usually. But when the menus are a tiny bit more expensive, we found that the taxes were actually included. So it was a little bit of just an awareness of, was it cheap or was it not, sort of thing. So it's just another thing to sort of keep in mind, because 16% is quite a lot. So think of that. If you're spending $100, there's going to be another $16 added on there. Number three is probably the most common, well-known one when you do go to Bali, is make sure you do drink the bottled water. Do be a little bit careful of the ice, but we found that the ice was generally good. But you just want to double check, because I did get a bit of Bali and it wasn't fun. So you just want to be making sure you drink the water as much as you can. Now, I don't know if how I got it was water related or food related, but I did have Travelan basically with every meal, and still managed to get it, although I was a little bit slack towards the end and maybe missed a couple of meals. But just keep that in mind. Number four, so we were at the 7 Motel in Legian. It was the second time we'd been over to Bali, and obviously we loved it so much, so we stayed there again. We did find 7 years ago it was called Swiss Bell or Swiss Bell Inn, but this time it was actually called 7, so SEVN. Yeah, love it there. And just an example of when you feel like some cocktails, some of the cheapest places we found in that area were the Corner Bar, which is literally you walk out of the front lobby and it's there right in front of you. We found cocktails there to be about $5. And that was a good selection of cocktails. There's probably about 12 or so on there. Sugar Ray's Bar, which was further round, so you would head towards Occidental, do a bit of a loop around to the right, a couple of blocks, and then you'd walk back up. So it'd be like right, and then it'd be like a U shape, so around and then back up. So, and that was on the corner there as well. We found that to be actually $4. So that was extremely cheap. Probably didn't go there as much as what we should have. Only because it was a little bit of a walk. So that had a good selection of cocktails there. I think from memory it was another 12 or 14 or something like that were on there. And like I'm a espresso martini fan, but quite often you would find that they're actually not on the special list, so it was slightly disappointing. But I think from memory the ones that weren't on the list weren't really that much more. There might have only been a couple dollars more, if anything. So, and then there was a chapter 2, which was basically across the road from it. So, and they had $5 ones as well, and a decent mix actually. It was probably pretty much the full menu of what they had to offer were special. So, but yeah, there was only a handful that weren't a part of it. You would find probably in most places like this, the Long Island iced teas were a little bit more, and the ones equivalent of, because they had 3 to 4 different alcoholic drinks mixed into it. So yeah, you expect that. Last of the do's, have a bit of fun when you barter and do your shopping. Negotiate your prices. Don't try and be too hard, because we do need to realise that they live a very difficult life and really struggle to make a living. So they don't get much variety in their food apart from just a bit of plain rice. So don't ride them too hard, because basically you want to be sort of supporting them as well, because but do be careful of some scammers. So we found when we did go over, we got our laundry done, and we ended up paying, I think it was $35 to get our laundry done. And it was just, I think it was just a bit of a miscommunication on the dollar value, and thought it was a lot cheaper than what it was, and actually it wasn't. It was $35. So not ideal. And then your scooter rides as well. Just try and negotiate a price beforehand, because they will see you coming, and a small trip could even be $20 they might offer, and you're not really into that sort of thing. Like $10 is generally sufficient. You can get them down to $5, but depends on how long you want to ride around with them for. So, um, yeah, and the butler's getting into the airport, so they'll always try and take your bags, in a good way, but yeah, try and take your bags, and as soon as they got your bags, they'll basically, they'll charge you. So I think it's not a lot, but it's $5 to $10, I would say, and it's hard to negotiate once they actually have given you the service. So, as we found out when we went over for the first time and not been to the country before, we actually got a random taxi driver and got, I think it was $60 to $70, and it was literally double what we paid this time around. So we found Leggy to the airport. With the driver we actually went with this time was 30, and even that was still it was a little bit on the top side. We found Bluebird taxis are only $12 to $13, and that was easily the way to go. Like, they were quick. You just need the app, so all you need to do is download the app, work out where you are. You can chat to the driver. It's a bit like Uber. You can sort of chat to the driver beforehand, tell them where you are. Keeping in mind, we found the language changed from driver to driver. Some were really good with English, some were they struggled. So generally speaking, keep sentences short and sweet. The more you go into it, the more you confuse them. So that was the way to go, and we had quite a bit of luggage. Easily would do Bluebird taxis again, because it was just a nice, easy experience. And the don'ts. So, don't buy any. Well, the saying is, you go to Bali, and everything's cheap. Not to be the case in some instances. So we went to the corner stores, like your Quickie Mart, sort of 7-Eleven sort of equivalents. So we found that the bottled alcohol the spirits were, well on the expensive side. So just keep that in mind. But we just kept going to the eat outs and, just using the happy hour facility, because, drinks were, cocktails were, like I mentioned, $4 to $5 each, or 2 for $12 in a lot of places. And then spirits were, 2 for sort of 10, sort of similar sort of price. So 2 for 12 sort of thing. So it's pretty good value. Another one with being scammed is avoid exchanging your money when you go out on the streets. Big ones to look for are count your money before you leave. So make sure that you've been given the right amount, because they can easily slip a $10 note, which is 100,000 rupiah under the table, and you wouldn't even know if you weren't being careful. So there's that, and also that's probably the main one, is just check it before you leave, because then you can't go wrong. number 4, we noticed when you do walk around quite a bit in the Legian area, I'm not sure about the other parts of Bali because we've only ever stayed in Legian, but this time we got a lot of drink vouchers, and we got ones for Muumu's, which is like a steakhouse. We got one for... It's actually next door to it. I can't quite remember the name of it, but it was a sort of Chinese, Asian-inspired restaurant. We got free drinks there, and not Muumu's. I just said that. It was the Goat Bar in Legian as well. And basically, you would get a drink card randomly on the street. It said free drink, cocktail, spirits, beer, whatever you wanted, basically. Something you would never get in Australia, I must admit. And generally, it's just beer, wine, or soft drink. But we went to use it in the Asian-inspired place, and they were really, really reluctant to have you redeem the vouchers, which, I mean, it's a drink voucher, so... But it's really just to lure you in there and get a meal. So, yeah, don't expect the drinks to be free unless you buy the food, so... or other drinks, let's say. So it's sort of a bit of common sense, but it's a bit of a misconception of, it is a free drink, so you would expect to go in there and actually get a free drink, but we were able to get it at the Asian place, but we weren't able to get it at the Goat Bar in Legian, so they wanted us to actually buy food, so... yeah, but it still works out to be pretty good. By the time you buy food, get yourself a free drink, well, it's only really the food, and you've had a reasonable experience. So, yeah. And the last one of the don'ts is, do not expect the food to be, or the meals to be as big as what you would receive in Australia. So, a lot of the prices are cheaper, but keep that in mind that the meals are actually a fair bit smaller. Like, we found some steaks around the $15 mark, not even that, and they were probably lucky to be 150 gram steaks. So yeah, and I went over trying to get as much protein in as possible, changed my diet around a little bit, and I found have an entree like chicken wings or something like that, or to get me protein in, but just say you're not hungry and just buying rubbish at, your corner stores, because, it was like the corner bar. So yeah, as I say, you walk out of the lobby at 7 and the corner bar was there. We love that place. Like, we watched the grand final there, the AFL grand final. I think we had another 2 dinners there, maybe even a lunch. Like, yeah, it was the place to go, and I highly recommend going there again. Yeah, like, staff are lovely. But yeah, every item on that menu was cheap, and it did still have the taxes on the bottom of the menu to be included in, but we were basically, as a family of 4 and then a little boy, we found that to be the same sort of price as what you'd pay as a couple in Australia. So, yeah, really good value. But yeah, I'm sort of a bit more on the bigger end of eating, so wanted to make sure I had enough to eat and got entrees, and could have even gone 2 main meals, to be honest, and still got 2 steaks for cheaper than what you would get 1 steak for in Australia. So not everywhere though you will get that. So when you go to Moo, which is a steakhouse, a lot more expensive, but the meals were a fair bit bigger too. The steaks were a lot bigger. They were more what you would expect in Australia. So it would give you the weights on the menu. So keeping in mind that's raw weight, but it was just something to keep in mind. Generally speaking, when the menus have cheap food, it's either the taxes aren't included or the meal's small. So just keep that in mind. So just hopefully that gives you some pointers on your next trip to Bali, whether you've been there or not, or it's been a big gap in between visits like us. As I say, a lot of those things on the list we found, I learnt just by being 7 years in between visits. It was sort of, we noticed a lot of changes there, and using the taxi is a vastly slower form of transport. Like, it is slow, and it took us 40 minutes to travel, I think it was like 5Ks from where we were staying to the airport. And it's just a very, very busy place. So keep that in mind. But hopefully you can learn a few little bits and pieces. But I'll have some videos coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. But just wanted to let everyone know, some little tips and hints. And a lot of people that have been over numerous amount of times would probably not bother watching the video, but it's just more for the newcomers, and basically general few do's and don'ts. And the drinking is probably one of the main reasons why you would go over there. So I made sure I included that in my list, because who doesn't want to go to Bali and have a few beverages? So, but thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for the videos coming out soon. So cheers guys, and make sure subscribe, and keep an eye out for the ones coming out. Cheers.